The Russo-Ukrainian war widens with a very suspicious letter attack. But before we get into that, this is Crisis Report. Remember to like these videos and to subscribe to keep the reports coming. Thanks. Right. I saw this from H.I. Sutton. It's just a few hours old. Initial reports suggest a letter bomb attack on the Ukrainian embassy in Madrid. The envelope with homemade explosives was addressed to the ambassador. And we can take a quick look at where the Ukrainian embassy is here for Madrid. And one very dangerous thing was pointed out in the thread, and another concerning thing is, firstly, this road with this roundabout looks very dangerous. That's very dangerous. The other thing, these people need to take care of their pools better. Turning green, that isn't good. Right. Sorry for the levity there, but there has been a letter bomb attack. And right, from Reuters. We're going to look at this. I'm calling this very suspicious. Now, I was getting ready to, and I thought about doing it yesterday, a look at the battle for Bakhmut with the Russian offensive going on currently. And I'm still planning on doing a video on that. So again, remember to subscribe to get all of these videos. But I thought this, quite honestly, was a more interesting story. And I also want to do some coverage of what's going on with Ethiopia right now. That's another major tragedy going on that is getting very, very little coverage. So look for a story coming up on that sometime, right? Back, Reuters, letter bomb injures one at Ukraine's Madrid embassy. Kyiv ramps up security. Madrid, Kyiv, I don't know. Security officer at Ukraine's embassy in Madrid injured when he opened a letter bomb addressed to the ambassador on Wednesday. Kyiv ordered a bolstering of security at all representative offices abroad. Security officer suffered light injuries and went under his own steam to the hospital for treatment, Spanish government official broadcaster told Telemadrid. In the wake of the incident, Ukrainian foreign minister, something unpronounceable, ordered all Kyiv embassies abroad to urgently strengthen security, a spokesman said. Minister also urged Spain to take urgent measures to investigate the attack. The spokesman added, perpetrators, he added, will not succeed in intimidating Ukrainian diplomats or stopping their daily work to strengthen Ukraine and countering Russian aggression. Russia invaded Ukraine 9 months ago. Yeah, we know that. The letter arrived by ordinary mail and was not scanned, caused a very small wound on the ring finger of the right hand of the envelope after he opened it in the garden of the embassy, Gonzalez said. It was addressed to Ambassador Shuhil Poroletsev, she said. Sorry, I'm butchering these names. If I heard them, I could probably get reasonably close, but without that. Detectives are probing the incident, aided by forensic and intelligence investigators, Spanish police said. Spain's High Court will lead the investigation. An officer at the embassy declined to comment. Cereos, the Spanish state-run postal company, did not immediately respond to requests to comment on the origin of the letter. Residential area, northwest Madrid, cordoned off with a bomb disposal unit. The scenes, all right. Well, and we'll take a look at Reuters photos. A couple of basically SWAT team type members standing there, telling residents to not get too close, standing around some more, standing around even more, and a few more of them standing around in another location. Right, okay. Why do I call this suspicious? And it's said it's homemade explosives. Okay. I do not believe that this is a centrally organized. And now, okay, so I've given you guys the facts and I've given you my sources. I want to be clear on this. I know this is a new channel. H.I. Sutton, and who, I don't know who his original source was, but this is coming from Reuters, who supposedly has somebody on the ground and getting these quotes. Now is my analysis and conjecture about the incident. So this is all that I know. This attack happened earlier this day, as far as I understand. I just don't, well, yeah, it's November 30th, but I don't know the time that this happened. Homemade explosives. I have to wonder what type of explosives. How do they know they're homemade? I'm serious. How do they know within a few hours that this is homemade explosives? How do they know? I know, you could say homemade letter. Well, homemade letter bomb. Well, you don't go into the bomb store and say, I want some letter bombs, and what models do you have? Of course, that. How do they know the explosive is homemade this fast? I mean, I'm not saying that people can't tell. I just have to wonder, how do they know it's so fast that it's homemade explosives, as opposed to commercial explosives, as opposed to military explosives? How hard would it be to, say, if you're a wannabe terrorist, to say drive up to Sweden and buy a couple of hand grenades, and maybe even from Sweden there, disassemble the hand grenades, take the explosives out of the hand grenades, and put the explosives into a letter. See, this is what I'm talking about. Either through the, how do all the hand grenades get to Sweden? I'm not sure. I'm sure they're smuggled in. I believe they're smuggled in. I'm not sure, but I believe they're smuggled in without evidence of the actual origins of the grenades, make and model and that type of stuff. That they're probably coming in from the Middle East. So I don't know why these people couldn't get commercial or military grade explosives, and why they need to home make this explosive. Let's get like that. Yeah. Let's go. So, okay, this is, they're specifying letter. So I'm gonna take that this is a soft letter. I'm going to take that, without further evidence. I'm going to take that this is a not a hard package, but something bigger than you send back for your bills or whatever letters. I'm going to take that this is a larger enveloped letter, and since it was opened outside, they were already suspicious of it. I'm guessing, unless that's standard procedure, the weather's nice, maybe they like to go outside and just have the security guy open all the letters, just because this isn't, confidential. Things sent through the mail aren't confidential like that to the embassy. Just open, unsolicited mail to the ambassador and see if it has anything to his attention. Yeah, I'm going there. We're already suspicious of this when they opened it. And, of course I feel sorry for the guy being injured, but I will say that without projectiles, it takes quite a bit of explosives to severely hurt somebody in an opened situation like a letter. Like the aforementioned grenade, part of the way the grenade works, of course, would be fragmentation if it's a fragmentation grenade, but even non-fragmentation. But it's also the compression inside the body of the grenade that helps it out. It's like plastic explosives. So again, I don't know what this homemade explosives was, but plastic explosives, my understanding, and I am not an expert, I will say this, but if you get plastic explosives and you put it on a fire or something like that, it'll just burn. It just burns. It needs heat and compression. Because I remember reading years ago an article about an attack on some base in Vietnam, and one of the armories or whatever. There was a fire going on, and one of the guys knew that there was a lot of plastic explosives in there, and then otherwise like small arms munitions and whatnot. This is like a forward operating base, and so he went over and made sure that he opened the doors to the bunker, so that it wouldn't get hot enough and compress, so that the plastic explosive would just burn off, and not do a catastrophic explosion that it would otherwise do. So, or it needs like a detonator, a precursor explosion to happen that then detonates plastic explosives. So yes, if you put it inside a metal container and then you heat that up, like in a fire, plastic explosive will explode. But if you just have it setting out there and you attach a detonator to it, it will explode. So it seems like it's a because it doesn't seem to have any burns. Now I don't know if he was wearing protective clothing or not, or whatnot. Protective burns to the face or other parts of the body from the description, with just describing an injury to his finger. So I don't know what procedures he was using. So it seems to be either like a low explosive, or like they say homemade. Is it just some black powder? Fire, a firecracker type thing. Big firecracker maybe type thing. I don't know. So I just not buying that this is the FSB or whatever Russian intelligence type agency doing this action. This is why I call this suspicious. It could be some pro-Russian wannabe types, Russians living abroad or whatever, that want to strike a blow for Mother Russia, and probably a person, if it's that kind of thing, makes a bomb and sends it off, or so that I also can see this as being a false flag. Whether done by whatever Ukrainian agencies, or simply a some pro-Ukrainian element, because you remember all of the attack on NATO. Russia attacks NATO when it was Ukraine who fires a missile and kills 2 Poles. Well, we still blame Russia, because Russia is firing missiles into, or drones or whatever, into Ukraine. Ukraine launches counter weapons. I'm guessing one of these counter weapons lands in Polish territory, killing 2 Poles. So there is a responsibility in that Russia should not be invading Ukraine. I'm not justifying Russia's action, but it's still a Polish missile firing and landing and killing. A Ukrainian missile firing and landing in Poland, killing 2 Polish nationals. So that is a Polish attack, maybe an accidental one, but attack on on Poland and killing Poles. But how all that media was ginned up over the attack, to try to get NATO to somehow, whether, start bombing Russia or just simply ratchet up pressure, diplomatic pressure or something on Russia. I could see this as being a similar, maybe misguided operation to try to do this, because I just can't see this helping out Russia. If it killed the ambassador and shuts all mail delivery down to all Ukrainian embassies around the world, I don't see how that helps Russia. I just can't see a scenario. And please post below if you can see a scenario how this helps Russia, that Russia is doing this. Again, maybe some pro-Russian people, this is what they want to do. I'm not saying it isn't that, but I'm just not, until I get much better information, I'm just not buying this as being a Russian government organized, some letter alphabet agency doing this as an attack. Either this is, I think this is an amateurish attempt at stirring up trouble. And I think this is going to be a small thing. But I think it's important to know that a terrorist attack happened and my thoughts behind it. So, very interesting story. If you've got an interesting story you think should be covered, please post below. Thank you very much. See you next time. Crisis Report out.